Some people enter your life quietly, like air slipping under a closed door. Others arrive with a force you cannot explain, as if the universe has been holding its breath waiting for that exact moment. That was how Kamsi walked into mine, with a presence that felt like memory, though I had never seen him before. The first time I met him was at the art exhibition in Lekki Phase 1. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Deji had begged me to attend, saying it would help my spirit breathe. I had laughed, but truthfully, my spirit had been tired for months. So I went. I was admiring a painting of a moonlit river when I felt someone step beside me. Not close enough to be intrusive, but close enough for my skin to warn me that something in my life was about to change. I turned, and there he was. Tall, gentle eyes, a quiet expression that somehow felt familiar. He tilted his head, studying the same painting. "It feels like something you've seen before, doesn't it?" he said softly. My heart stumbled. That was exactly what I had been thinking. "Yes," I replied, forcing a smile. "Like déjà vu." He nodded, eyes still fixed on the painting. Maybe some memories come from before life began. I didn't know him, yet my chest tightened as though I had been waiting to hear those words. We talked about art, about Lagos noise, about silence, about the strange ache of being alive. Conversation flowed too easily. It felt like he had walked into a story that already knew his name. When he laughed, I felt warmth settle into my bones, the kind I only felt at home with Mama Naya when she wasn't worrying about the world ending. When he introduced himself, "I'm Kamsi," the name echoed inside me like an old song. "Naya," I replied. His smile deepened. "I know." I blinked. "Sorry? Have we met?" He shook his head quickly. "No. I mean, I didn't mean it like that. You just look like someone whose name would be Naya." I should have laughed it off, but something in his tone made goosebumps rise on my arms. Before I could ask more, the lights flickered and music filled the hall. He stood there, watching me with an expression I couldn't read, soft, confused, drawn. "Can I walk you out?" he asked. I should have said no. I didn't know him, but something, fate, danger, destiny, madness, nudged me forward. "Yes," I whispered. Outside, the Lagos night air wrapped around us. We walked in silence, the comfortable kind. Near my Uber, he hesitated. "Naya, this may sound strange, but I feel like I've known you before." My heart thudded painfully. "Funny," I said. "I feel the same." He touched his wrist absent-mindedly, revealing a curved scar shaped like a crescent moon. The sight of it sent a shiver across my skin. I didn't know why, but it felt like a warning. "Can we see again?" he asked. I should have said yes, but something made me say, "Let's see how destiny feels." He smiled slowly, like he understood the hidden meaning. "Destiny always finds its way," he said. He walked away, disappearing into the night. I didn't know then that destiny had already found us, and that my mother, Mama Naya, would soon try to steal him. For 2 days, I tried to forget Kamsi. But forgetting him felt like trying to unremember a face I had known in a dream. His voice lingered in my thoughts, the warmth of his presence resting behind my ribs like something placed there long before I was born. So when he texted, "Can I see you today?" I didn't fight the instinct that pulled me toward him. We agreed to meet at a small cafe not far from my house. The moment I saw him seated by the window, leaning forward with that quiet, thoughtful expression, my body reacted like I was stepping into something destined. He greeted me with a smile that felt too personal, too familiar. "You came," he said. "Destiny allowed," I replied, trying to hide how much his presence unsettled me. We talked for hours. It felt easy, like water flowing into already carved paths. When it was time to go, he insisted on walking me home. I protested lightly, but secretly, I wanted him to. As we approached my gate, I saw Mama Naya sitting outside, peeling oranges like she always did when she was deep in thought. She looked up, ready to smile, until her eyes met Kamsi. Her entire body stiffened. The orange fell from her hand. Her breath caught in her throat. "Naya," she whispered, voice trembling. Who is this man?" I frowned. confused by the terror in her eyes. Mama, this is… But she cut me off, standing abruptly. Her fingers shook. Her eyes watered. She looked like she had seen a ghost wearing human skin. No, she said, stepping back. Not him. Not this one. Naya, go inside. Mama, what's wrong? She pointed at Kamsi with a trembling hand. That mark, that scar on his wrist. That moon-shaped scar, where did you get it, young man? Kamsi instinctively covered his wrist, confused. I was told I was born with it. Mama Naya's knees buckled. She grabbed the wall to steady herself. Naya, take him away from here. Now. Mama, you're scaring me? She shook her head violently, tears streaming now. I warned God this day must never come. I begged him. I pleaded. Naya, I said if this man ever crossed your path. She stopped, choking on her breath. Kamsi tried to step forward to help her, but she screamed. Don't touch me. The scream echoed through the compound. Neighbors peeked from windows. I stood frozen, my pulse slamming in my ears. Mama, please talk to me, I begged. She pointed at me, then at him. You don't understand. He was not meant for you. He was meant for me. My soul cracked. What are you talking about? She wiped her tears furiously. 23 years ago, a prophet told me I had a destined soulmate. A man with a moon-shaped scar. A traveler between worlds. A man who would change my life forever. I waited. I searched, but he never came. Her eyes shifted to Kamsi, hungry, broken, terrified. But now you bring him home? You bring my destiny to me. Mama, you're mistaken, I whispered. You're scaring us. She stepped closer, her voice lowering to a trembling whisper. No, Naya. Destiny has finally found its way. But it found the wrong woman first. The world tilted. My vision blurred. I felt Kamsi's hand lightly touch my back, steadying me. Mama's eyes flared. Don't touch her, she warned him. If destiny wants to play games, I will not lose again. The wind seemed to stop moving. The air grew heavy. And for the first time in my life, I saw fear, not love, in my mother's eyes. I didn't know it then. But that moment was the beginning of a battle fate had been preparing for years. A battle between the woman who gave me life and the man who felt like the other half of my soul. For days, Mama Naya's outburst replayed in my mind like a broken film. The way she froze, the way she trembled, the way she claimed Kamsi was her destiny, not mine. Nothing made sense. And the worst part was, she refused to explain anything further. After that night, she locked herself in her room. She barely ate. She barely spoke. Each time I knocked, she whispered, "Keep him away from me. Keep him away from you." The universe made a mistake. But what mistake? Why did she look at Kamsi like he carried her past in his skin? Kamsi tried to check on me several times, but I avoided him. I wasn't angry, I was terrified. Terrified of what I didn't understand. Terrified of losing him to a destiny older than me. Terrified of what Mama knew that I didn't. Finally, on the fourth evening, he showed up at my door again. He stood there, hands in his pockets, eyes soft with concern. "Naya, talk to me. Please." I stepped outside, closing the door behind me. "Kamsi, my mother is not well." "She reacted like she knew me," he said quietly. "And I swear I've never seen her in my life." "I know," I replied. "But she believes you're someone meant for her. She thinks you're…" My voice trailed off. I didn't know how to finish that sentence without sounding insane. He touched my arm gently. "What do you believe?" I swallowed hard. "I believe nothing about you feels accidental." A shadow crossed his expression. Fear, confusion, longing, something unspoken. He took a deep breath. "Naya, can I show you something?" Before I could answer, he rolled up his sleeve again. The crescent-shaped scar on his wrist caught the fading sunlight, glowing faintly like a small moon embedded in his skin. "When your mother saw this," he said, "it was like she recognized it." I nodded slowly. The prophet's words. "What prophet?" he asked. I told him everything. The prophecy Mama Naya had hidden for 23 years, the soulmate destined for her, the mark, the man who would change her life. The more I spoke, the more unsettled his face became. Naya, he whispered, my mother once told me she had a dream before I was born. A man wearing white placed this mark on my wrist and said I belonged to two paths, but only destiny could choose the right one. I stared at him, my heartbeat stumbling. Why didn't you tell me this before? He shook his head. Because I didn't think it mattered. Until now. Before we could speak further, the door creaked behind us. Mama Naya stepped out slowly, eyes wild, hair unwrapped, breathing uneven. When she saw us standing close, her face collapsed into pain. Is this how you repay me, Naya? She whispered. You want to take the man heaven promised me before you were even born? Mama, that's not what's happening. She held up her hand sharply. Do you know what I sacrificed? Do you know what I gave up? I waited for him. I waited for the man with the moon mark. And now fate brings him to you? Tears filled her eyes. He was supposed to save me. Kamsi stepped forward, voice trembling. Save you from what? Mama Naya's gaze shifted to him, desperate, broken. From death.
From shame.
From a future I've fought alone. Her voice cracked. You are destined to be my salvation. The air turned cold. Kamsi looked at me, then at her. Mama, destiny doesn't choose lovers. It chooses purpose. But Mama Naya wasn't listening anymore. She reached for his wrist suddenly, clutching it tightly, pressing her forehead against the scar. My son, my salvation, don't leave me again. Mama, stop. I cried, pulling her away. She collapsed to the ground, wailing like a woman mourning a life she never lived. Neighbors watched from afar. The sun dipped behind the rooftops. Kamsi knelt beside me, helping me lift her. In that moment I knew we were no longer fighting feelings. We were fighting destiny itself. And destiny, when challenged, does not stay silent. Mama Naya did not recover easily. After the night she collapsed, I watched pieces of her unravel like a cloth losing its threads. She moved through the house quietly, avoiding light, avoiding mirrors, avoiding me. Sometimes I heard her praying at dawn, whispering Kamsi's name like a forbidden hymn. Other times, she stared into space as if her soul had traveled somewhere her body couldn't follow. Nothing made sense, and answers were no longer optional. I called Auntie Philomena, the one woman who had been close to my mother long before I was born. The only person Mama Naya feared and trusted at the same time. When she answered, her voice trembled as if she already knew why I was calling. I'll come tomorrow morning, she said before I even explained. It is time. That night, sleep refused to visit me. I kept replaying the prophet's words Mama had shared. The man with the moon scar, the salvation, the promise. Why was destiny tangled between my mother and me? Why did Kamsi feel like someone my spirit remembered when I didn't? When morning came, Auntie Philomena arrived with a wooden box carved with strange symbols. Her presence alone made the air feel heavier. She hugged me tightly, then asked where Mama was. We found her in the living room, sitting cross-legged on the floor, humming softly. When she saw Auntie Philomena, her face shifted, from fear to relief, then back to fear again. You shouldn't have come, Mama said quietly. I must, Auntie replied. The truth has waited too long. She placed the wooden box on the center table and opened it. Inside were faded papers, old beads, a cracked photograph, and a small white cloth stained with something dark. Naya, she said, you deserve to know the full prophecy. She unfolded a paper that looked older than all of us combined. 23 years ago, she began, your mother was told she would face a great danger, a spiritual attack that could end her life. But destiny promised her protection. A man marked by the moon would appear, not as a husband, but as the one who would save her at the appointed time. Mama's head snapped up. That's a lie, he was my soulmate. He was meant for me. Auntie Philomena shook her head slowly.
No, Amaka.
You misunderstood. You heard what you wanted. But the prophet said, the man with the moon scar will not belong to you. He will belong to the path that comes after you. Mama's breath caught. I froze. My heart thudded painfully. The path that comes after, I whispered. Me? Auntie nodded. Yes, Naya. You are the path that comes after. Silence spread through the room like smoke. Mama Naya's face twisted, wounded. So destiny gave me a savior, only to hand him to my daughter? It was never about marriage, Auntie Philomena said softly. It was about timing and protection. Kamsi's destiny is tied to your family, but not the way you believed. My knees weakened. I sat slowly. So, why does he feel familiar to me? Why does my spirit recognize him? Auntie reached for the cracked photograph. It was a picture of Mama Naya pregnant with me, standing beside the prophet. Behind them, barely visible, was a shadowy figure holding a newborn baby with a faint glow around its wrist. My breath caught. Kamsi, I whispered. Yes, Auntie said. You and Kamsi were spiritually intertwined before either of you entered this world. That is why you felt him in your bones. Mama shook her head violently.
No. No.
I waited for him. I waited for my destiny. You waited for the wrong meaning, Auntie said firmly. And now jealousy has opened a door the enemy has been waiting for. The room grew cold. My heart pounded. What door? I asked. Auntie Philomena closed the box and stood. The door for destiny to be corrupted. And if we don't act soon, it will not be your mother's life in danger. It will be yours. Mama gasped. I felt my blood turn to ice. And in that moment I understood. This was no longer about love. This was about survival. And destiny had only begun to reveal its teeth. After Auntie Philomena's revelation, nothing felt normal anymore. The air in the house grew heavy, as if every room was holding its breath. Mama Naya avoided me completely, and when she crossed paths with Kamsi, something in her gaze clung to him. Fear, longing, ownership, desperation. A love that wasn't love, but obsession shaped by prophecy. And Kamsi. He began to shift in ways I couldn't understand. At first, he would check on me, showing up at the gate with soft eyes and soft words. But soon, those visits grew shorter. His voice grew quieter. Something in him was unraveling, pulled between two forces he didn't ask for. One evening, he came to the house. I saw the exhaustion in his posture immediately. Kamsi, what's wrong? I asked. He hesitated. Your mother called me. My stomach dropped. She did what? He rubbed the back of his neck. She said she needed to talk. I didn't want to come, but she sounded broken. Anger flared through me. She's manipulating you. I know, he whispered, but there was something in her voice. Naya, she's in pain.
Pain.
The same word destiny used as bait. I swallowed hard. And what about me? Am I not in pain too? His face twisted. You are. And that's why I'm falling apart. We walked into the compound together. Mama Naya stood on the veranda, dressed in white lace, her hair wrapped neatly. Almost too neatly, too suddenly. She watched Kamsi approach with an expression that made my skin go cold. Naya, she said, barely acknowledging me. Please let me speak to him alone. No, I snapped. Not again. But Kamsi touched my hand gently. It's okay. I'll listen. Just a few minutes. The betrayal stung, not because he meant harm, but because destiny was tugging him like a puppet. I stood inside the living room, peeking through the curtain. Mama Naya spoke softly, desperately. She held his wrist again, her fingers tracing the crescent mark like it belonged to her. You were sent to me, she whispered. You were meant to save me, not Naya. Kamsi tried to pull away, but she held tighter. Don't leave me. Don't let me die. He finally freed his hand gently. Mama, I'm not your salvation. I don't know what destiny planned, but this, whatever you're feeling, isn't love. She fell to her knees, crying into her palms. Then why did God promise me you? His voice trembled. Maybe the promise was misunderstood. She looked up at him, face streaked with tears. Then let me follow the feeling. Let me hold on to something, anything, Don't choose her. Choose me. My chest cracked. I stepped outside, unable to stay hidden. Mama, stop. I cried. You're breaking us. She turned to me with wild eyes. He was mine first. Before you existed. Destiny marked him for me. Her voice was sharp enough to cut air. Neighbors peeked again, whispering like the night she collapsed. Kamsi looked at me helplessly. Naya, I don't know what to do anymore. I stepped closer to him, but he stepped back, subtle, but enough for my heart to feel the distance. You're pulling away, I whispered. He closed his eyes. Because I'm scared. Of choosing wrong. Of hurting you. Of hurting her. Of whatever this prophecy is doing to us. Mama Naya grabbed his hand again, sobbing.
Stay.
Please stay. He didn't push her away this time. That tiny, devastating moment felt like destiny had reached into my chest and snapped something important. Later, when he finally left the compound, he didn't hug me. He didn't touch me. He barely looked at me. Naya, he whispered, I need space to understand all of this.
Space.
That single word emptied me like a wound. As he walked away, Mama Naya's gaze followed him like a shadow she had worshipped for years. And I realized something terrifying. This wasn't a love triangle. This was a war between fate and blood. And Kamsi was slipping through my fingers like a prophecy reclaiming its claim. There are moments in life when you feel the ground shift beneath you, and suddenly you realize everything you trusted was an illusion you built for comfort. Chapter 6 was that moment for me. The moment I learned that love, when mixed with desperation, can turn into something dangerous. After Kamsi asked for space, he stopped coming to the house entirely. No calls. No texts. Nothing. The silence stretched like a rope tightening around my chest. But Mama Naya didn't stop. She became a shadow that followed his existence. She cooked food he never asked for. She ironed clothes he never wore. She prayed prayers that sounded more like incantations than pleas. And most frightening of all, she began keeping vigil at night, sitting by the window with a candle, staring into the darkness, as if she expected destiny to knock. One night, I found her writing in a small leather notebook, page after page of Kamsi's name surrounded by symbols I couldn't understand. Mama, what are you doing? She looked up slowly, as if waking from a trance. Writing what was promised. Writing what must not be stolen from me again. Mama, Kamsi is not yours.
He is not yours either, she snapped.
Destiny is older than you, Naya. I swallowed hard. Destiny doesn't compete with its own blood. Her laughter chilled me. Blood competes more than strangers ever do. The next morning, I woke to find the living room filled with burning incense. Thick, choking, unfamiliar. Calabashes lined the floor. White chalk symbols marked the wall. My heart raced. Mama, I shouted. She emerged from the kitchen wearing a white wrapper and red beads, her eyes distant. What is all this? A protection rite, she said calmly. I must tie his spirit back to mine. Mama, stop. She ignored me, humming a strange melody. It was the same tune she hummed the night she collapsed, the same tune she hummed when she told me Kamsi was meant to save her. Fear crawled under my skin. That evening, Kamsi finally called. Naya, I need to see you, he said, voice tight. We met near the old footbridge, by the lagoon. The wind was rough, the sky gray. Kamsi, what's wrong? He looked shaken. Your mother came to my house last night. My blood froze. What? She knocked for almost an hour. She said I was the reason she was still alive. She said if I abandoned her, the prophecy would punish all of us. I covered my mouth, horrified. Oh my God. Naya, he whispered, stepping closer. I don't know how to handle this. I feel like I'm being pulled into something I don't understand. Tears filled my eyes. We'll fix it. We will. He cut me off gently. There's something else. He pulled out a small calabash tied with red thread. Your mother left this at my door. My breath vanished. The same calabash I saw in our living room that morning. Kamsi, don't open it. I didn't. I don't want to know what's inside. We stood there trembling, the lagoon wind whipping around us, the weight of a prophecy older than both of us pressing heavily on our shoulders. Naya, he said softly, I need to step away before I lose myself. You're leaving me? I choked. He closed his eyes, pained. I'm scared of hurting you. I'm scared of your mother. I'm scared of whatever fate is doing to us. He handed me the calabash. Keep this away from me, please. And then, he stepped back. Naya, I think destiny wants something from us that I can't give. I reached for him, but he moved farther away, the distance growing like an open wound between us. I'm sorry, he whispered. He turned and walked into the darkness, leaving me with the calabash, the wind, and a prophecy threatening to suffocate everything I loved. When I returned home, Mama Naya was waiting at the doorstep. Her eyes were calm now.
Too calm.
As if she had done something unforgivable and made peace with it. You saw him? She asked. I didn't answer. She smiled faintly, a haunting smile. Good, she whispered. The path is clearing. And in that moment I knew something terrible had begun, and destiny was no longer asking permission.